We've made this work. Cheers, everybody. I don't know how well our connection is going to go or how long it will last for. So we're going to try our very best and see what happens. I think you guys can. If you can't hear, let me know. But welcome to the Katie's Arms on the road in quite a different place tonight, and I'll explain all in a minute. Hello, hello, hello. Let's all have a little drink. So, this is the Katie's Arms. It's our online pub, and it's usually at 8 o'clock on a Friday, which I think we are now, aren't we? Friday, yes. But tonight it's half an hour early because in half an hour I'm going to be on, well, I wouldn't say on stage, but in front of a group of people. Now, if you're wondering where I am, there's inspiration for this all over the place. Scaffolding, as you know. I love me a scaffolder. Like, I love them to death. And scaffolders are one of my favourite menkind of all kind. Just getting my boobs out for the funsies. I don't know if you can hear in the background. You probably can't. So not only the sound of rain, which is Storm Babbitt banging down on us, but also a singer in the distance. Can you hear? I don't know. So I am in a secret location in Milton Keynes. And I'm now quite hot. I've been chilly cold up here. I'm going to just kind of do a half on, half off. It's supposed to be cool, that, isn't it? Half on, half off. Isn't that what the Beckhams do? Walk around with one shoulder out. What is that awful, awful woman called, married to one of the Beckham children? Nicola Feltz Meltz. Always dripping around doing bugger all. And okay, there's just a small something in my drink. So I am on location at a secret speakeasy in the middle of nowhere. And if you can hear, I don't think you can hear. Can you hear? So just over there is a large barn type place filled with people, and the field is the car park. There's a lovely singer singing right now with a guitar, and she's got one of those old-fashioned, you know, the old-fashioned mics like you see in the movies where they sing, and you know, so she's singing beautifully. She's lovely, and I can hear the noise of the crowd all gathered. And I don't know how many of them are over there, hundreds and whatevers. So I go straight from here. Am I in Spoons? No, I'm at a secret speakeasy. You can hear it. Can you? Am I drunk yet? That's the rudest thing. You know very well I don't really drink before I go on stage. So I'm about to head over to go on stage here at this secret speakeasy. But I wanted to try and make sure we did Katie's Arms this evening for any number of reasons. A, because it's been a bastard week from hell. B, because it's been a bastard week from hell. C, because we're here at this brilliant speakeasy and I want to let you know that these are a real thing and they're really happening. And D, because I don't like to miss Katie's Arms, because anytime I'm on the road, so many people will come up and just hug me and hug me and hug me and say that, you know, you guys got them through lockdown, or Katie's Arms is their thing each week that they just love. And so now I feel like if I ever miss one, I feel horrible about it. So here we are. And the amazing thing about these speakeasies is they're gathering in places that are not standard, not that known. This one, for example, the house next door is being built, as you can see. But the barn is open. They meet, I think, once a fortnight to discuss matters that we need to be discussing as the world goes to hell in a handcart, and how we need to be building and preparing and readying ourselves for what's to come. And their standard group of people meet. They don't need to alert, no one needs to know about it. It's an internal communication that gets people together, and there's a hardcore group of people. And then when someone like me rocks up, that goes a little wider, but still, hello, hello, hello. Not a single communication externally, zero social media, nothing above the parapet that can be seen or heard. No posters, no banners, no flyers, no way of knowing that the entrance is where the entrance is. Unless you know, you wouldn't know. And the really important thing for me that I'm trying to get across to you guys is that these speakeasies are up and down the country. This is happening everywhere, all over the place right now. And if you're not part of the Speakeasy Network and you have no intention of being and you couldn't care less, perfect. That's fine, you've opted out. If you are wondering what the hell is going to happen and where is everyone going to be and where are we all going to gather and how do we keep hearing from each other and how do we plan, it's happening right now. And in your town, in your village, this will be happening. And the way into it typically is by joining a group or a stand in the park or a group of people who are talking about the sort of stuff our kind of people talk about, which is staying well, staying free, being as free as you can possibly be, trying to remove yourself from mainstream and the bullshit we're surrounded by. And if you can find your way into those networks, you will find your way into these amazing Speakeasy networks. And it's really my absolute everything at the moment is to be ploughing up and down this country, helping support speakeasies, helping give people reasons to gather, helping bring new people who might not always attend, helping them to come along and building this network. And my sense is that by me helping with this, what I'm trying to do is create spaces other people can come behind me and follow along and keep this network going and building, and more people will offer up their barn or their garden rooms or their marquee in their field or their car showroom late at night or the room above their underwear shop. So that's what this is all about. And the reason I can prove to you it's real is that I'm going from here and the scaffolding down some, we'll call them stairs. They're not stairs in a conventional sense. And then I'll be putting on my sparkly jacket. Oh, shit, nearly spilt my wine. That was nearly a disaster. And then reminding these people that they're part of something much bigger as well. So this really is my passion project at the moment, aside from the nonsense and the noise and all the other things that I do. Where's my little sparkly blazer? So still, I think it's important if you're doing a speakeasy that we add a bit of drama and a bit of rock and roll. So I have my pink blazer, which is becoming somewhat known now. Look at it. Is that not great? Look how sparkly it is. Look how sparkly. So it's made by the same people that make, you know that black sparkly shirt I have? I know. Look. It's not a cheap thing, but it's by a lady. She does, is it Nadine Marabi? I don't know, but that's where you can buy them. And sometimes they're in the sale, and then they're not as expensive. But the important point is that it is genuinely a sparkly item. And where would we may be doing speakeasies. We may be the band on the Titanic as it goes down. But damn it, we're going to do it in sequence. Right, so that's what I wanted to tell you about where I am. How are we all? We're all doing fine. Helping the working class feel like their work and tax-paying graft is worth the graft. Thank you. No, absolutely. This is Normalville here. And that's the other glorious thing. I've got a really itchy nose, sorry. This is scaffolders. This is builders. So one of the ladies that just arrived, she's got an old Mini, but it's sort of convertible. I mean, I think it sort of holds together. It's Storm Babbitt and it's leaking. She was just sat in her Mini holding an umbrella, and then lads from inside who were here for the speakeasy came out, batteries, drills, tool belts, all things you need to fix things, and they fixed that car like that in a heartbeat. Boom, swapped out the battery, boom, 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 got her inside, got her a drink, got her some music, fixed the car. Here, a man is building a house with his own two little hands and his friends. That's these people. There is a parallel society already happening and building and growing. I don't have a barn, but I've got stables. Stables are perfect. And for us to gather, we don't really need anything because we have all the people who have all the tools or the attitude that you need. And really, this is about attitude. This is about can do. And typically what I find is no one turns up with problems. They've all got massive problems. They're being hounded or pushed out or have been pushed out or have been isolated or have been made to feel completely alone. But these people can fix anything. If you're broken, they'll fix you. If your car's broken, they'll fix that in about 3.4 seconds. You want something built or you need a light. I mean, if I could show you what these guys have set up here as well. Just behind me here, there's a little painting on an easel so that our bar would look nice. Hold on. Do you see? How cute is that? A little painting on an easel so that the bar would look nice for all of you guys. I need to get involved, yes. So, and in one day, maybe these speakeasies will be what people talk about as the start of the people's uprising. And I know we're not alone in these, because in America, I've already been part of a speakeasy network there for quite a long time. Even in one bar in America, they have a secret door, and you can only go through it if you've been invited specifically. And if you went there and you didn't know, you wouldn't know. And then you go through the door and it's an actual speakeasy in the bar, only for the invited. And then in South Africa, they have the Sudlanders. Hello, if you're a Sudlander in South Africa, and the South African Boer meet on the weekend with their tools, with their infrastructure, with their planning. What will we do about the water? Where are we going to generate electricity? What do you need to do on your farm before you leave it? Planning, infrastructure, networks, and none of them exist above the line. So please, can I wish you a happy birthday? Yes, of course. I wish you a very happy birthday. And there's nothing subversive about this either. I mean, there is, because no one knows about it. It's not policed. We're utterly free. But it's just policed by ourselves, because our side genuinely wants everyone to be as free as they can be and as happy as they can be. That's the police mechanism here. So it doesn't matter. No one has to come in and state their thing. Like in the other world that I don't really recognize anymore, people have to pretend to be something, don't they? Oh, I'm a gluten-free, trans, bisexual, queer, lesbian ally with a peanut allergy, right? They're all trying to be something in order to try and be part of that, which is just really, Black Lives Matter. I stand with Black Lives Matter. Yeah, sure, Black Lives Matter. That's just a freaking obvious statement. Water is wet. Get over yourself. None of these people, they might be any of those things. They don't feel the need to say it. They certainly don't need to feel the need to wear it on a friggin' badge. They just want to have a nice time and everyone to be all right. Okay, I'll stop talking about speakeasies now, but you know that it's my absolute love, and so please be reassured that they're out here. Okay, what should we talk about next? Can we talk about Alison Hammond? Seriously, I caught an episode. By caught, I mean I accidentally had a TV on somewhere and it was on. Alison Hammond on the Great British Bake Off. Jesus Christ. I know I've been joking a bit about the fact that she is a unit, but you have no comprehension of the size of that thing. Some of the camera angles on the Bake Off, Christ, they are right next. She obliterates everything else in that Bake Off tent. She is vast. There are continents that marvel at the size of Alison Hammond. I mean, that is one hulking bit of kit. Storm Babbitt looks at Alison Hammond, right? And it's just like that. Fuck that. Let's go and try the east coast of Scotland. We ain't blowing that shit over. I mean, Jesus. Everything about it is massive. The eyes, the mouth. I mean, I know I've got a big nose. Like, the gunt area is vast. I mean, God help them if they ever need her to look in an oven, which for some reason at Bake Off they place at floor height. But Jesus wept, if she goes down to look in an oven, that is the end of it for Alison Hammond. You aren't getting that thing up without a winch, I'm telling you. You would need to start hiring in some heavy machinery to get that thing off the floor. I mean, no disrespect to any Chumbawambas, because you can be as fat as you want to be. It's none of my damn business. As long as you don't make out that it isn't that you eat half the fridge, we're good as gold. But that thing, you are going to need a fishing trawler to haul that thing up if it gets down and looks in an oven. And I get that she is supposed to be Mrs. Average now, and she is Mrs. Everyday, and she is Mrs. Ordinary, and so Alison Hammond is God's gift. But me, can we have someone ordinary that also studied a couple of GCSEs or learned how to say English? Like, I don't want to be a snob about it, but like the verb tense on it, so you was, there was you. You know, can we, no? Slightly getting on my tits. So I was amazed. She made all the other bakers look so small. And when they came to judging whatever it was that they were supposed to be making, I couldn't care less. I think people that bake, I'm deeply distrustful of people that bake. Too much fucking time on your hands. Anyway, no, but you know, glorious thing, lovely, lovely. I love a cake as much as the next man. But Jesus, they went to judge the chocolate fudge cakes. Not a single chocolate fudge cake to be found. Cut to Alison Hammond in the back. Alison, have you seen the chocolate fudge cakes? Alison, psst. Numbers 1 to 12. Where's the fudge cakes, Alison? Don't know, haven't seen them. Haven't seen them. Can I get a cup of tea? Bit sweet. Anyway. How's everybody doing? Is everyone all right? When someone asked me what your name was, oh, you see, this is the problem, right? Is that this goes by so fast, I can't really speak to you. I think I can put my finger up. But if I do that, it's quite cold, my finger. It is actually Bally Baltic up here. The things I do for the sake of humanity, good people. So what happens next for me? So after tonight and the speakeasy here, which will be really looking forward to it, the noise coming. It's always the noise coming out of the room that I love. Tomorrow I go back home to HQ, as I call it. So I get to catch up with the family, get to catch up with my dogs, the lions, and finally get them out running and get to be back home for a bit. And what you'll know is that when you go home after being away, if you have teenagers, your number one job when you walk through the door is to put on a wash, because apparently none of them realise that that big white thing in the utility room that you feed stuff into and then hang stuff out of, none of them realise that they could use that as well. They think that is solely your domain and something that only you can do, but yet can still ask you where's their X, Y and Z when you get back in. Within 2 minutes of being back in the door, having done a nationwide tour of the speakeasies to rally the underground network in order to save the future of humanity, within 2 minutes they'll say, Mum, have you seen my fill in the blank? That. The second thing I can guarantee you is that whenever I sit down for a wee, and bear in mind for the last week and a half I haven't sat down for a wee because I've been in public spaces and whatever, and I never like to sit down and it's good for your thighs. Within a minute of sitting down for a wee, I'll need to either change a toilet roll or find a toilet roll. Or my favourite thing of all is sit down for a piss, no toilet rolls left, and the one on the roll is empty. So you have to dry yourself with your hand. That happens. Then what will happen a bit later after that would be that I would need to find some new toothpaste, because there won't be any toothpaste anywhere, because somehow by being on the road for a week, all the toothpaste will be gone. You know me? You feel me? And then I will need to go out to the garden and pick up dog shit. Because when I'm home and walk the dogs properly, there's no shit in my garden. When I'm away and there's teenagers at home who do have legs, I like to remind them, the dogs won't have been walked sufficiently and they'll have to have taken comfort shit in my garden. And yet no teenager will have gone out there and picked that up, because apparently, oh yeah, that's my job. Seriously. Shouldn't moan about them, because they're actually quite nice and relatively house trained. But this is the story of our lives, right? Right. What else? So then I have a week back at home, which will be jolly, before I set back out on the road again. It's kind of mayhem, my life. But I also very much love it. What are my thoughts on the American involvement in this horse shit in the Middle East? Do you know what I think is, there's two sides to it. Number one is that I love that this is pissing off Zelensky no end. Can you imagine being Zelensky right about now? The little short-ass, little cock-wombling actor that he always was, going around begging for munitions And he's like, we need your bands, we need my bands, give us your bands. I don't know why he's gone all hello. Oh, sorry, hello. We need your fatter jets, give us more fatter jets. This is the thing about the war in Ukraine. This is not just a fight for Ukraine. This is a fight for democracy in Europe. And we need everybody. This is going to screw my voice, and I need to get through tonight. We need everybody to give us their bombs and their weapons and their guns, because we have a war in Ukraine. And despite being only 5'2" and never ever been near the front of any battle trenches ever, I have a green t-shirt, and I have been banging Macron, and I let Trudeau do me up the anus. And so, we have got your bombs, and we are fighting a war for democracy. Anyway, that's my impression of Zelensky. And what I love is that finally that little twat no longer has an audience. And if there's something you can say, and not wishing to be flippant in any way about the horrors of what's going on, but if there's a glorious thing, it's that Zelensky is so yesterday's news, no one even gives a single shit. So finally we can stop having Boris Johnson and Rishi Roland Rat Sunak turning up in Ukraine, in Kyiv, for a photo opportunity, or Macron in Kyiv. And we don't need to listen to that little twat anymore. And frankly, he can piss off. So that's my positive, is that Zelensky is now in a vacuum, in a void. He doesn't matter. No one cares. He's just a short man walking around Ukraine that nobody loves. Perfect. The second thing, last night I was very fortunate to be invited as a speaker and a guest at a big event in Barnet in London. If you were there, thank you very much for having me at your event to bring a little bit of uplift and hope and fun. And that's exactly what we did, all of us together. And we laughed and we danced and we had a cry, and some people weren't doing so well because of what's going on and their relatives are affected directly. And what I learnt was that we can talk about pro-Israel. So that's the criticism of me, right? I'm pro-Israel. I got off-commed for being too pro-Israel once. That I am, people say I'm paid by Israel, or I'm a grifter for Israel, I'm on payroll. I can assure everyone I'm on no one's payroll. But that doesn't matter. I'm not trying to respond to that. It's not about that. But then people say, oh, so-and-so's pro-Hamas, pro-Palestine, pro-whatever. And I think regardless of your views or no views, what I found last night is that when people speak in those big phrases, pro-Israel, pro-this, she's a grifter, she's a pro-Mossad, she's a Mossad agent. Am I? Okay. Is that what you forget is that what it actually is made up of is last night a little lady holding my hand, asking me where people are supposed to go, or another lady in tears because it's just been so horrible and she can't stay anymore at the events because she can't be around happy people because it doesn't sit well with her. And another lovely man who's just kind of watched my stuff for 10 years and knew that I was always trying to call this out a long time ago. And what I find is that it is individuals that make up any story. And I think the more we see individuals, the better we do. On any side, on either side, whatever. Because individuals are pretty much all the same. And always, if we can gather in groups with individuals, we do really well. Because we get along just fine. And it's really only the media and the machinery of politics and the machinery of war that would set us apart and make us be pro-Hamas or pro-Israeli or pro-whatever. I will say very clearly, if I may, that I believe Hamas are terrorists. And I will say very clearly, if I may, that I love the Israeli way of defending its borders, defending its people. And what isn't talked about, I see in the mainstream, is that Hamas puts its fighters and its bombs and its rockets into hospitals, into schools, deliberately to use its own people as a shield. And I just don't see that being talked about, and that seems duplicitous to me. And the other thing I wanted to mention that's not being talked about in the press at all is that in France, the country is virtually shut down because French Jews are such a minority, and because French Muslim population is such a majority. Over this last week, 8 airports have been shut down. The Louvre was shut down with emergency sirens. The Palace of Versailles was shut down with emergency sirens, bomb alerts, bomb threats. And then we've just had, I think it's the MTA or the Music Awards or something I don't really know about, says it's not going to have them in Paris because it's too dangerous. And something European leaders and media are doing very well is not talking about what the Intifada in Israel and Gaza means for France. And France is at the end of days for its French Jews there. That was very dark, so I don't want to stay there, but I just wanted to be honest about my personal views because I'm not shying away from them. Equally, I'm not trying to hoist them onto everybody either. I'm just saying, could we just possibly see each other as individuals, please, and stop imagining that you hate things, because I don't think we really hate much. I'm going to need to go in about 2 minutes because I need to have a wee. I need to look what lovely Mark brought me. This is a funny story, which we'll talk about. Hold on. Yeah. So people with their different views, keep your views to yourself. Israeli knows exactly what's happening, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. Everybody to themselves. Please, you don't come here to agree, or if you do, you're in the wrong place, so offity piss. I never asked you to agree with me, and I never asked you to like me. Remember that when you're telling me I don't agree with everything you say. Did I ask you to? No. So we just gave the organizer here a box of heroes, right? And then lovely Mark was like, I don't want to be rude, but can I steal a couple for Katie before she goes on stage? So we just stole our own heroes back from the present we just gave someone. That's not very good form, is it? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to thank you all for sticking with me amongst the scaffolding. I'm going to get these down my face. I'm going to have a wee, and then I'm going to get up in front of 100 and something people in this field, off-grid, away from the rest of the world. And you know what we're going to do on your behalf? We're going to have a bloody lovely time. So if you can integrate into a Speakeasy network and you would like to, please do. Otherwise, I'll be back at HQ next week, and so we'll be doing much more of Batshit Bonkers Britain from there, which I know a lot of you are following along with. Just to say thank you to everybody. Thanks for all the kindness everywhere. It's always the kindness that sets me off, and it will set me off again now, because it's been quite a big week on the road every night in a different venue with a different group of people. But I'm really grateful, and I'm really grateful for all of you being out there and your kindness. And it is truly you guys that light my path. So off I go. We chocolate stage. Let's do this. And of course I have my twat whistle. We will have for the Silly Cow tour next year. We will have, I'm working with Acme, the real whistle people, and we're going to get twat whistles made for all of you and your daughters to wear, so that if you're near a twat you can blow it, but also just a whistle is actually a really clever thing to have around your neck these days. So anyway, we'll be working on those, but for now, from me and the Katie's Arms, thank you very much for being part of this, and I really look forward to seeing you all somewhere on the road.